You're watching Satluj TV News. I'm Angus Scott in London. G20 environment ministers in India today readied a fresh bid to strike deals tackling climate change, days after heavy criticism for failing to agree on cutting fossil fuel use. Environment chiefs from the group of 20 major economies, constituting more than 80% of both global GDP and CO2 emissions, are focusing on critical topics including climate change adaptation finance, biodiversity, and principles for ocean-based economic activities. Those agreed by environment ministers during their one-day conference on Friday will be signed off by leaders during a summit in New Delhi in September. Global temperatures are hitting record highs, triggering floods, storms, and heat waves, climate experts say. Campaigners across the world were dismayed after G20 energy ministers failed at a July the 22nd meeting in Goa, in India again, to agree on a roadmap to cut fossil fuel use. It was seen as a blow to mitigation efforts and a win for some major oil producers who have themselves resisted a quick transition away from dirty fuels. It came despite G7 leaders agreeing in Hiroshima in May to accelerate the phase-out of unabated fossil fuels. Progress has so far been slow, with the group polarised by Russia's war in Ukraine and sharp divisions on key issues between the West and developing countries. Many have tired of the rounds of conference talks and apparent lack of progress that followed the 2015 Paris Agreement to limit global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius since pre-industrial times. The G7 economies will also have to contend with a key demand of many developing countries, including host India, for greater finance to offset the impact of global warming on sectors such as agriculture and energy. A report prepared for India's G20 presidency estimated the global cost of the energy transition at $4 trillion a year and emphasised the importance of low-cost financing for developing countries. Some have pushed back against bracketing developing nations with countries such as India and China, both among the world's top 5 largest economies. You've been watching Satluj TV News, and you can find more stories in detail on our channel at Satnet News, so it's worth clicking on that subscribe button to make sure you get to see stories as they're broadcast. And don't forget, if you have any comments or opinions on any of our news stories, you can comment below, or indeed drop us a direct message at message@satlujtv.com, and we would love to hear from you. In the meantime, you've been watching Satluj TV News. I'm Angus Scott in London.